young Irish lad, qualified in the same week as his duo, Core Gaming. They didn't represent in the duos competition. We got to interview both of them, and they're excited to be here, excited to represent not only for their countries, but also for their families. And then also looking out there, Left Eye and Dementos have been around the scene for a very long time, since the beginning, have that veteran experience, have been in so many of these very, very top-heavy lobbies. They are going to be coming.
And Vanny was Faxfox's duos from the previous Asian group, and he is one of the most aggressive players. He also plays tons of high ground, tries to look for tons of eliminations on the high ground. So we'll see how the Asian region and how he performs there with his strategy converts to this stage.
We can't forget about Takamura out of Japan, and then Cat coming from the as a player, very aggressive. We talked about Oswald, we talked about wanting to represent his family and what it means to him. Let's hear a little bit about that from him.
Hi, my name is Albion. I'm originally from Philippines. I live in Spain. I watched the solo Fortnite World Cup. Every week was really nice. I didn't expect myself to qualify for the solos. It was just unbelievable.
Show. He has that competitive bones in his body. He was there every single week, and mega great performance again yesterday. Colorful, the one we got to interview on Mother's Day, and he was told, hey, I had to make a deal to even get playing time on the weekends, and now he's going to be on the main stage.
I also, going back to Mega real quick, because he had one of the most memorable moments from yesterday's games when he was playing with Dubs. We actually trapped, eliminated Mitro and Mongrel, one of the biggest duos in Fortnite in EU, and that was crazy to be able to do with that mechanical skill, that speed that he did it at.
And he barely even reacted. Now, one player, normally, Bala, you and I are very good about going through, breaking these down, knowing their stories. I know very little about Pizza. It's so hard to find information about the mod reviews, but he is somebody in one of the few true wild cards, and I'm very interested to see what happens when you run into him. And now,
Remake! Jordan, what do you have next for us?
Thank you so much, Jordan. And what's surprising to me there is Zayt. I mean, he's not surprising at all. He's a true competitor. He won, placed in 4th place yesterday, and he's very disappointed about that. You can see it on his face.
Definitely felt it wasn't good enough. He said, hey, we wanted it all. We wanted the top spot. With Zayt, we've seen it in the past. That means he's going forward. But now on to our next group, because these competitors are here to also challenge for the top spot. We have Link, Peter Pan, Lecce, Yarkos, Lucia, Mr. Savage, Snazy, Smeeth, Blaster, and Isa.
Okay. The beginning of this group that you mentioned, Lecce, one of the most amazing controller players I've ever seen out of Germany, and he was so methodical and so good at the end game. It was unbelievable. The tunneling skills and able to be so aware. I can't be more impressed by Lecce.
Yes, and even in the qualification round, he said, hey, I got the spot. He was almost the first controller qualifier to get in. Missed it by 1 place, and that next week when he came back to back, solo trap elimination left on the entirety of Europe. Also wrapping up.
Mais oui, j'ai pas le temps de faire une game. Ils sont 2 sont trop forts. C'est que ça peut être bon.
He is on the floor with Jordan Fisher. What do you got?
Standing next to me is Reverse 2K, one of the most gifted mechanically in terms of his aim, his building sense, his speed. Everything about his gameplay is one that I love and look up to personally, and I think for a lot of people here as well. Now, you've already told us that you're dropping Pressure, which is where you dropped in your qualifying week, which is a very smart move, I think, in my opinion. Now, are you planning on keeping a strict rotation schedule? Are you going to be able to be flexible?
We're going to be able to flex more. I know Ninja and I do a spot, so that's my hometown, so we might drop there.
Very comfortable there. Matt up really quickly with some wood right there in those masks. Now, another thing that I love about you, Reverse, you're so vocal and so positive in social media, and a lot of people are supporting you and loving you, very much behind you in this journey. How does it feel to have so much support from Fortnite fans and others that are watching your streams and so forth?
It feels amazing. This Fortnite game is definitely a mental game. If you lose your mind, you're going to lose the game, so a lot of sport helps.
Absolutely. Well, we love you, man. I'm excited to see you perform today. Bala, Sundown, who's next?
Thank you so much, Jordan. A lot of people from home rooting for Reverse 2K. He's made quite a fan base, and a lot of people supporting him. We're going to continue forward back in the stadium. We do have our next group, Hood Shade, Arius. We also have our one of the duo champions from yesterday. It's Aqua, and then Martine, Roos, Robabs, Skylar, Kinstar, and Kinzel.
And we can't forget about Flexi and the X2 twins rounding out the group there, but all eyes are on Aqua, and deservedly so. Dyrok said yesterday, hey, we won because Aqua is a beast. Aqua in his interview said, we're just gonna win. And what did he say last night afterward? He's like, you know, might around, mess around, and win solos as well. He is about it, and he is that skilled. But another player who has that very similar attitude is Eros, somebody who is a controller player, swapped over from console to PC, and I had one fan particularly reach out. He's like, hey, I watch him all the time. He doesn't care about anyone else. Whoever is going, he is flying at them. He wants to be known as one of the most skilled players out there, and then you have to talk about Keemstar.
And at the bottom of that list there, we also have Flexi, who played yesterday in the duos competition. One of the actual fully qualified duos with his partner, Letwick, who's playing as well. He's just amazing. His qualifying run actually was one of the most mechanically skilled things I've ever seen, but also what a struggle it was. He had so many setbacks in that week that he qualified that I almost thought that he wasn't going to make it. It was going to be one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
But he was able to punch up in the end and get to his spot. We see plenty of French representation coming out there. Keemstar been around from the very beginning, able to compete on the side, representing down south, known originally as one of the first veterans out there. We're going to toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking going into the competition.
I'm twins, and I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've played LAN, I've played online, I've played the Australian Open, I've played at Poland internationally. I really like LANs. It's a different setting because there's people actually watching you as opposed to just people watching online. I think I'm definitely getting better with it with the more LANs I do. It doesn't really sink in until you actually land here and you get here like, oh, I'm actually in New York. It is definitely a cool experience. I like to listen to music before I play and try and treat it as if I was at home just playing any other scrim. You've got to put work into it. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit lucky with like qualifying and stuff. Like that's a part of it, but you can create your own luck through grinding and just hard work. It's really cool meeting the people and like experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come through.
Jordan going to be doing everything he can to push forward and be at the top. And now we're into the qualifiers who qualified in the final week. The week 9 ones, the last chance qualifiers. When everything was on the line, they made it here. It's Clipnote, Cosmic, Tuzi, Aspect, Hornet, Trio, Legedian, Harians, Evil Mare, and Arkrim 1X.
Clipnote, one of the players out of Brazil who, you know, he was there every single week, just in the top 10, not quite reaching that final top 1 spot, which is how many spots are up per week for Brazil, but he finally did it in the final week. That shows he is clutch.
Yes, the Argentinian was all about it, and we have to talk about Aspect. Him and Ana were the original favorites going into the qualifiers, kind of slid off the pace a little bit, had to swap up their drop spot. In the final week, he rocketed up in the lead with 60 points, but the issue was he finished his games early. Everyone else had an extra half hour. He had to sit there watching the leaderboard for an hour, but when all was said and done, he got the final spot. He'll be playing on that stage, and he'll be looking to take everyone's balls.
That 17 elimination game to qualify was definitely memorable from Aspect, but Arkrim 1X also had a memorable performance yesterday in the duo finals. We're going to go ahead and catch up with him on the floor.
Dominant performance from Arkrim for sure. Standing next to me here, another one of the most talented. I mean, I say this over and over again. It's because I'm surrounded by the best Fortnite players literally in the entire world. Definitely one of them here, repping the NA West. Over there, a lot of psycho players. Now, Arkrim, you qualified for the World Cup in the first week of duos and in the last week of solos. Your preparation for both of these things definitely is very different. How have you prepared in comparison to yesterday, claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable, guys? Preparing for solos today is very different. How have you strategized for this?
Well, I I try to prepare my mentality a lot better than yesterday, and I know what it's going to be like going in today, other than like tomorrow, because yesterday was like my first time playing at a LAN. So I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to do to try to win today.
Absolutely. Well, that composure is everything, right? I mean, that can really help you dominate in that way. Now, again, repping NA West out there in LA for me. Listen. Your qualification both in duos and solos, you're the only person from NA West that was able to do that. What do you have to say to the rest of the West?
I mean, like, if you guys get a brain on the West Coast, I mean, like, it'll be a lot easier, you know. But otherwise, yeah, that's all you got to do.
We got to get a brain. Okay, I'm going to come to Arkham School. Back to you guys on Unreal Island.
Well, I might also go to Arkham School. That was definitely interesting there.
Could say Galaxy Brain there from Arkham, you know, just get a brain going on there, looking to represent. But now the final group of competitors, it will be Sosman, Moffin, Andretta, Crew, Light, Mongrel, MQ, Teak, Blacks, and Skite.
I like the little dab there from Blacks. Absolutely incredible. Again, remember, these are the guys who qualified in the final week. And I do have to point out, Andretta was one of the players who did so. What an amazing performance it was. One of the few players who was streaming his final week, and he did it in an amazing fashion.
Winning 3 out of his first 5 games. He actually took a moment after that on the stream, kind of to see him. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and kind of know he had it. He kept pushing forward. We got to see Crew yesterday, had some highlight reel plays, but wasn't quite able to push into the top 10. Going to want to do that today. But Bala, you know on this list who I want to talk about right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it. What do you got for Mr. Mongrel himself?
Mongrel. What more? I mean, there's literally so much. I could talk about this guy forever. One of the most mechanically skilled players I have ever seen. So fast with his decisions, you really can't keep up. Sometimes I even have to watch him in slow motion because it's just so ridiculously fast.
And you could see his reactions on the camera, how much he cares, how much he is invested, how much he wants to be the best of the best, just as does Skite, the player from the stream, overcoming tendonitis in the qualifying group. We're going to throw it down to the floor. Jordan in translation. Catch up and hear what Skite has to say. Jordan, take it away.
Standing next to Skite here, dealing with tendonitis is a very, very big thing, especially ahead of a competition of this caliber.
Avec un concours de cette nature, il y a beaucoup évidemment d'ambition. Comment est-ce que vous gérez un peu la situation?
Je m'entraîne et j'essaye de ne pas stresser et je reste concentré en jouant.
I train, I try not to be too stressed out, and I just, you know, think about the game.
Understood. As you should, you have a lot of LAN experience and a lot of success in online tournaments as well. Your preparation for today, knowing that you're going up against a bunch of the best players in the world, regions all over the world, how are you strategizing for solos today?
Tu es un des meilleurs joueurs du monde, tu as beaucoup d'expérience, etc. Mais en même temps, ça c'est une compétition nouvelle. Comment est-ce que tu t'es organisé pour la stratégie de cette Coupe du Monde?
J'essaye juste de jouer mon jeu et de ne pas stresser. Et j'essaie de m'adapter à la méta actuelle. Et voilà.
I try not to stress hard, I try to sleep well, eat well, and I try to think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely. And that allows you composure, right? Then you can dominate. Love it, Skite. Back to you guys at Unreal Island.
Skite is originally known for his Winter Royale performance where he was top the qualifier, top the semifinal, and then top the final. It put him on the map, and now he's here competing on the main stage, which is set for everyone who is here. But all of you guys at home, make sure you're using Fortnite.com/watch. Go check the website out. It is a more kind of tailored viewing experience. There's the ability to unlock additional items in-game. And on top of that, for somebody who's super analytical, there's a map stream. There's an individual player stream. You want to see the spotlighted players, TPU or Dubs, they'll be on there. You want to see the best players from Asia, they'll be on there. Best players from Brazil, they'll be on there. Make sure you go and utilize this tool. Whether you're trying to get better at Fortnite or just want to watch what you want to watch, we want to give you every possible potential way to increase your viewing experience. And let us know if there's anything else you want added in there. We're always looking to improve because we're lining in stats. We got the map. I mean, what more could you want as an analyst, Paula?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch those because I need to see every little detail for some of these guys who are going to perform on this stage. It's going to be crazy. And I can't wait to do that.
I mean, this is what is going to allow these guys to push up into the prizing. I mean, just look at some of those numbers. Of course, everyone who made it here, $50,000 going into that top group, you'll start seeing a little bit of a pay bump. But ultimately, at the top, it's about the $3 million. It's about being the best of the world and being crowned the world champion solo baller. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. We're moments away from getting inside the stage and getting ready to launch the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition.
100 of the best players, every single one is be here. Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show!
What's up, Fortnite World Cup? How we feeling today? Come on! Let me see everybody's hands up, come on!
Division 3.